Rob Walker wants us to pick our favourites. Let's give it a go. Ahoy, hi everybody, and welcome to a response video to a thread that Rob Walker has started. Rob Walker, one of my best friends on the VC, really top guy, sent me some VCLT a few months back. Yeah, just really great guy, great channel, check him out. He started this thread, he's picked 40 artists, and they're all, big artists, and paired them up, and basically it's choose your favourite. Any more ado, let's go. So the first pairing is the classic. It is the Beatles and the Stones. This is the only Beatles I own on vinyl. This is the Beatles with Tony Sheridan. This is the Record Store Day version of Through the Past Darkly Big Hits Volume 2. Beatles vs Stones, for me, it's a no-brainer. Beatles all the way. They are one of, certainly my top 5, probably my second or third favourite band. I like the Stones. I have 2 greatest hits on vinyl, and I have 2 different greatest hits on CD. Sorry, Willow's about, and she's in a frisky mood. Say hello, Willow. Villain. Yeah, I have 2 on CD. Stones have done a lot of great songs. However, I don't think there's the diversity and range in their catalogue, certainly not from what I've heard anyway, that the Beatles have got. Put it this way, the Beatles wrote a song for the Stones never wrote a song for the Beatles. So first one, my favourite, the Beatles. Second pairing, and this was a tough one, this was the Who versus the Kinks. 2 bands I really like, 2 bands I'm only just really exploring their catalogue. Both got lots of songs I like. However, Waterloo Sunset, Sunny Afternoon, plus many others, got to be the Kinks for me. Third was the Byrds versus the Doors. This is the only Byrds I own. This is a history of the Byrds, so it's sort of a best of. I haven't listened to it yet, so at the moment I knowingly know, at best, I certainly know that I know 3 of their songs. The Doors, I own their complete catalogue on CD. I have their debut on vinyl because it's one of my favourite albums ever. My choice, The Doors. Next we have Peter Gabriel versus Kate Bush. A difficult pairing, again, another 2 artists who I'm only really recently exploring their whole catalogue. But this is the remaster that came out in 2018. Hounds of Love, I have the box set. I don't know why I'm looking back there, I took it down to get this out. The first box set, which is everything up to and including Red Shoes. I enjoyed it very much. Peter Gabriel, I've got his self-titled albums on vinyl, plus the Birdie soundtrack. It is a tough call. However, I do struggle with Kate Bush's voice sometimes. So for me, it's Peter Gabriel. Next is Marvin Gaye versus Stevie Wonder. This is the only Marvin Gaye I own. I haven't listened to it yet, apart from tracks on compilations. I own a lot of Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder is my choice. Okay, the next one is U2 versus Echo and the Bunnymen. I do not own Echo and the Bunnymen. I have very little knowledge of Echo and the Bunnymen and their music. Therefore, by default, it has to be U2. I will probably rectify that. Then we have Wings versus ELO. I like ELO a lot. I have a box set of all their albums up to when they suddenly became basically solo Jeff Lynne albums. And I enjoy them. However, as Alan Partridge put it.
They're only the band the Beatles could have been.
It's Paul McCartney, it's Wings. Jeff Lynne wants to be Paul McCartney, as Rob said. Okay, the next pair up is two bands I don't own any of, and have very little, again, apart from the big songs. Don't really know their work. It's Joy Division versus the Smiths. Both bands I do intend picking up. It's getting them at the right price, really. For now, I'm going to have to say the Smiths. But it's based on very little. Next up is Iggy Pop versus Lou Reed. I only own bits of Lou Reed on compilations. Iggy, I have the normal CD of this, and then you may have seen my recent unboxing of the Bowie Years Iggy Pop box set, which I've literally finished listening to yesterday. It's very good. For that, I'm going to have to pick Iggy Pop. And neither of them artists huge, there's sort of periods of their work that I like. I have Velvet Underground, and Nico album, which obviously is Lou Reed in part. So I could have shown that, but technically since it's not him solo, I didn't. But I haven't listened to that yet either. But there's certainly a lot of Lou. I mean, Walk on the Wild Side, Perfect Day are both amazing songs. But yeah, I think purely because I know more of their catalogue. Iggy Pop. Next is Van Morrison, and again I don't own any Van Morrison, versus Elton John. Yeah, don't own any Van. Again, apart from the big songs, I don't really know much. A couple of his albums have been suggested for my classic album series, and I will pick them up. But again, by default, Elton John. I'm not a huge Elton John fan, but he's done a lot of stuff I like. Next, we've got Bob Dylan versus Neil Young. Again, don't own any Neil Young. Don't know much Neil Young at all. What I have heard I like, and again I will probably pick up his bits. So I'm all hot and sweaty and my hair's just sticking to my head. And like many of us, I need a haircut. So again, by default, it's got to be Bob Dylan. I'm not a huge Dylan fan. So this is all I own. Bob Dylan. It's his voice I struggle with. But we've had this conversation before. Next is two bands whose catalogue I know pretty well. We have Blondie versus The Pretenders. Although this CD is just their greatest hits, it's because it was the easiest thing to get. I hadn't got anything on vinyl, but I have most of their albums as part of a big box set, but that's buried away, so I grabbed this. Very much enjoying Blondie's albums, however they are very much, I found, the singles plus other songs rather than cohesive albums, with a couple of it. This is a strong album, and of course Parallel Lines is. Pretenders, I've found I enjoy their albums start to finish. Great singles, but also great album tracks as well. Seen with Pretenders live, they're awesome. My choice, The Pretenders. And then next, he's trying to kill me. I mean, the answer is obvious to anybody who knows me, but he has picked David Bowie against Prince. Bowie is my second favourite male solo artist. Prince is my favourite artist, full stop. I choose Prince, of course I choose Prince. Next, he picked one that was actually very easy for me, but it's another obvious pairing, and it is Blur versus Oasis. Don't own any Oasis on vinyl. This is the only Blur I've got on vinyl, but I've got everything. Individual releases of all their albums, plus the box set of their 21st anniversary box set of the expanded editions, plus various other bits and bobs, anyway, the singles box set as well. Anyway, which I think is already hinting at the answer. I do like Oasis. I like early Oasis most. Their later albums were better than I thought they would be when I recently picked those up. However, Liam's voice just deteriorated rapidly after he got his teeth knocked out. Definitely Maybe, great. What's the Story, Morning Glory, amazing album. Be Here Now would be a great album if it wasn't overproduced. The Master Plan B-side compilation is excellent. Everything else, average. Blur, Leisure's their weakest album, but everything else, in my opinion anyway, it's just amazing. And they're probably my second or third favourite band. I love Blur, basically. My pick. What I find is Oasis are very samey. They got, they do odd, different stuff. Importance of Being Idle is a bit different than most of their stuff. But they've either got their ballad mode or their rocky mode, and they're very similar, all their songs in each vein. Blur cover a wide variety of music. Blur could easily do any Oasis song, really. Don't think you'd ever see Oasis doing a song like Music Is My Radar or Crazy Beat. Yeah, Blur. Next, it's an interesting one because only a few days ago, or Sunday, no, when was it? Yes, Sunday of last week. I listened to these two classic albums from my classic album series, and Rob has picked Pink Floyd versus Led Zeppelin. Regular viewers will be slightly aware of my opinion of Pink Floyd. They are a band I am trying to understand, but no brainer for me. I pick Led Zeppelin. Next is Bruce Springsteen versus Tom Petty. This is the only Tom Petty I own. I haven't listened to it yet, so all I know really are Free Falling, I Won't Back Down. I think that's it. Springsteen, I have the box set of the early albums up to Born in the USA, I think it is. Plus I have Lucky Town, I think it is. It's one of those two that were released on the same day. Purely because I'm more familiar with his catalogue. Bruce Springsteen, but neither of them are artists who so far I have fallen in love with. I say, Tom Petty I know very little. Springsteen I like, I just don't love. Next up is The Jam versus XTC. This is the only XTC I own. I haven't listened to it yet. I know generals and majors. I know... Oh, what is it? There's another one on here that I know. Sergeant Rock. I know Making Plans for Nigel. They're all songs I like. I'm looking forward to listening to this and discovering more of XTC. However, The Jam, I have every album apart from A Gift at the moment. I've recently got them all and listened to them. I've enjoyed them all. I've got to choose The Jam. Next was Paul Simon versus Joni Mitchell. I have this, Paul Simon The Ultimate Collection. I have Graceland and Rhythm of the Saints on CD. And including Simon and Garfunkel, I have Bridge Over Troubled Water on vinyl. Joni, I am gradually getting all her albums. I adore Joni Mitchell. This is one of the greatest albums of all time. Blue. My pick. Easy. Next, we have Fleetwood Mac versus Queen. Not a hugely representative Queen album, but it was either open a big box set of them all or pick either this or Flash, which of the two I had individual copies of. Regular viewers will know Fleetwood Mac, a band I am not a fan of. I like their early bluesy stuff very much, but I don't like American Fleetwood Mac. I have bought this for my classic album series to see if I can understand their popularity. Queen are one of my favourite bands. My choice is obvious. And finally, another difficult one. This is Elvis Costello versus The Police. The Police, I have all their albums, both on vinyl and CD. I mean, there's only 5. Elvis Costello, I am gradually picking up his albums. Obviously, there's a lot more to get. I've enjoyed both people's catalogues so far. However, overall, I've preferred Elvis's. It's more consistent, in my opinion. Police albums got some great tracks on them, but they also got some really dodgy stuff. Whereas Elvis, I found, have got some great songs and some very good songs. But that's it. That's my opinion of those 40 artists paired together. My picks. A lot of fun doing this. As soon as I watched the video, but I've got to get in on this. Even before we started talking, I grabbed my pen and paper and kept notes and marked which was my favourite. Some of them were very easy, and some of them were very difficult, and some of them were just don't really know. But yeah, great idea, Rob. Really enjoyed it. As I say, check out Rob's channel. Top guy. Really good work. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks. Bye.